Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here. So for today's tutorial, we'll be making a high waist maxi gathered skirt, two side pockets and a zipper at the back. The skirt is also going to have a belt. And this is the fabric we are going to use for the tutorial. So that's that. But before we move over to the tutorial, please, if you are here to subscribe, click on the subscribe button and also hit on the notification bell for you to be notified each time I make a new upload. Thank you. So for today's tutorial, the measurement we'll be using is as follows. The waist I'll be using is 30, the hip is 40, and then the length of the skirt is going to be 39. So what I'm going to do next is just to draw a rough sketch to be able to explain better so that the beginners among us will understand more. So that's that. So our skirt is going to have a band. Don't mind my drawing, it's just a rough sketch. So this tells us that our skirt is going to have a band, and the band is going to be about 2 inches, and then it's also going to have a belt, something like this, a belt, and that's it. Then to know the width of the fabric to cut to make our gather, normally the least you should use is ×2 of the client's hip, ×2. For example, if the person's hip, okay, like my hip is 40, the least that is always advisable for you to use is 80. You can decide to make it ×3 or ×4 depending on how full you want the gather to be. So that's that. So for this tutorial, what I'll be using is I'll be using ×3 of my hip, which is 120. That's 40 into 3 is going to give me 120. So this is the width of the fabric I need to cut out to make my gather, and this comprises of both the front and the back panel. That's the front will be 60 and that of the back will be 60. Take note that this side is going to have an opening because we are going to insert a pocket here, and also the back, which we have a zipper, is also going to have an opening. So that's that. So after knowing the width of the fabric that we are going to use, which is 120, the next is to move over to the length of the fabric. Now I said the length of my fabric is 39. That's the total length, the band inclusive. So what I will do is, since it's going to have a band, I'm going to minus 39 minus 2 inch because our band is going to be 2 inch, which will give me a total of 37 inch. But take note, 37, I'm going to add 1.5. So I'm going to use ½ inch to join the down part of the skirt to the band. Then I'm going to use 1 inch to hem the down part. So that is that. So 37 plus 1.5 is going to give us 38.5. Take note, I hope you understand the reason why I minus 2 and then later went ahead to add 1.5. Please, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer your question. So after knowing the length of the fabric that we use, since it's 38.5, I will just approximately make it 39. So this is the width of the fabric we are going to cut, and the height is going to be 39. So the next is to move over to the belt. Okay, for the belt, I want to tie my knot. It won't be at the center, depending on where you want it or where your client wants it. I want my belt, after tying it, it will be something here, not necessarily at the center, and I want the both to rhyme. So what I will do is I'm going to cut the longer part, let's say 30 inch, and then the shorter one will be 25 inch, because this, when I bring it here to tie it, so that for it to rhyme. I hope you understand. So for the belt, what I'm going to do is I'll cut one part 30, the other 25. But then the height of the belt is going to be the same with the band, which is 2 inch. It's going to be 2 inch. Then one will be 30 inch and the other will be 25 inch. So I hope you understand what I'm explaining. The height of the belt is the same with the band. Height is going to be 2 inch, just like that of the band. Then the wideness, that's how long I want it, depending on how long or short you want it. Mine is going to be 30 and the other 25. So I move over to the band. For the band, I want my band to be 2 inch. So 2 inch. But if I'm to cut on my fabric, what I'm going to cut, because the 2 inch is going to be on fold, what I'm going to cut is 5 inch. At a stretch, 5 inch. But if I should cut this 5 inch and fold it, I'll be left with 2.5. 2.5. So I'm going to use half inch to fold it, as I'm going to use half inch to fold. That's what I will be using to add this band to the down part of the skirt. So after sewing after sewing the skirt, I'll be left with 2 inch. I'll be left with 2 inch. Don't worry, when cutting, I will show it to you on the fabric, and then you understand more better. So let's move on. So I've gone ahead to cut out the total width of the fabric I need to make my gather skirt. Remember that I said earlier you can decide to use ×2 of your hip, ×3 or ×4. This all depends on the amount of fabric available for you to make the skirt. So I went ahead to divide it into two. That's for the front panel and that of the back panel. So as you can see, I've divided it into two, one for the front panel and the other for the back panel. And that of the back panel, I will still also divide it into two. This is because, like I said earlier, our skirt is going to have a zipper at the back. You can decide to put your zipper by the side, but for this tutorial, I'm making the zipper at the back. So I will go ahead and divide that of the back into two. Because of the zipper, I'm going to fix at the back. So as you can see, this is the front. And also take note that I made sure that the length of my skirt, it's okay. Like I said earlier, my length is 39. So that is it. I took note of the length and the width of the fabric I need to make my skirt. And this is the back, and the zip will be at the center. So the next is to cut out the pocket. For the pocket, I just measured 6.5 on fold. So after sewing, it will be 6 inches, 6.5 on fold. So I just marked it. Then I also measured 9 inch. That's the depth, 9 inch, and I connected it, like you can see as I'm doing it. I just connected it. And so the next thing is just to cut it out. So after cutting it out, I went ahead and placed it on the fabric to cut out the second part of the pocket. And I just trace it and cut it. So the both are the same. The both pockets, they are of the same size, length, width. I also went ahead to cut out the belt and the band for the skirt. Remember I said for the belt, one part is going to be 30 and the other part 25. And also the band of my skirt, I made sure I used my waist, divide it and add the necessary seam allowance I need to join them. So this is the band and the belt. This is for the belt. This is for the belt. Like I said earlier, one part is longer than the other. One part is longer than the other. This is 30 inch and this is 25 inch. And I also went ahead to curve the end of the belt. I don't want it to have, that square shape. So I just curved a little. So this is the belt. I remember what I said earlier. On fold, it's 2.5, but after sewing I'm going to, you know, turn it like this to sew it. I'll be left with 2 inch. I'll be left with 2 inch. So that is that. Then for the band, this is the band. You see, I've gone ahead, I used a gum stay. I use gum stay for it to be firm. You can see it. I use gum stay just for the band alone, for it to be firm. So you see what I mean. On stretch it's 5, but then, you know, I folded it. So after folding it, and you know, this is the part I'm going to use to join to the down part of the skirt. So after sewing, I'll be left with 2 inch. You can see it, 2 inch. So that is that. So this is the front part of the skirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the pocket first, and this is how I'm going to attach the pocket. You see the way it is, the right side facing the right side. I'll place it like this. I'll sew. I'll just use a half inch to sew it straight down here. So after sewing it, I'm going to notch here a little bit, just cut a little opening for it not to be puffy. It will just, when I press it, it's going to be, you know, very, very flat. So that is it. After sewing it, I'm going to turn and then stop and then top stitch. But the top stitch I'm going to do will be on the pocket, and not on the fabric. Like after sewing, notching, I'll turn a bit, and then it will be like this. Then I'll top stitch a little bit, so that at the end, you know, it's going to appear like this. Then after that, I'm going to, you know, place this. I'm going to give just, let's say, half or 1 inch. This is what I'll use to attach the front panel to the back panel. That's from here to here, before, you know, moving over to the down part of the skirt. So that's that. So that at the end there will be opening here where you can, you know, place your hand. So that's that. You can see the way I did for the other side. You see it. I've attached that for this. You see, after joining it, I top stitch on the pocket. I hope you can see it on the pocket. Then like this. I also close the down part of the pocket. Then when joining it, it's going to be something like this. You know, here I will, you know, I'll sew here, so there is opening here, and this part is what I'll use to join the front to the back. I hope you understand. So after attaching the pocket, what I'm going to use is to I'm going to gather the skirt. There are different methods in gathering your skirt. You can, number one, you can use a gather foot to gather your skirt. Number two, you can just run a very loose stitch this side, and then, you know, you just draw the rope bit by bit. Or you can decide to use needle. Needle is okay, let me just show us how to use this thing, because I know some of us don't really know how to use it. This is what you just do. You just, you know, this side is for the pocket, so you just start, just something like this. You make it to the end. After doing it to the end, then you now adjust to the client's waist. You adjust it to the client's waist. So that is that. So after adjusting it to the client's waist, what you are going to do now is now to attach the band. You make sure that from here to here it's going to rhyme. You know, from here to here, after making your gather, it's going to rhyme to this band. It's going to rhyme to this band. So that's it. You attach the band to the skirt. That's for the front panel, and also do that for the back panel. And then for the back panel, this is the back panel. This is the back panel. You also do same for the back panel. This is where your zip will be. You see, this is where your zip will be. So after gathering it, you know, this for this and this for this. So after gathering it, I hope you can see it. After gathering it, you attach the band to the gathered part. Then after that, you insert your zip. I have a detailed video on how to, insert your zip, so you can go and watch it if you don't really know how to do it. So after that, what you need to do is just to join the back panel to the front panel, and your skirt is ready. You can now decide to rock your skirt. So let me move over to the sewing machine and do that. Do not forget, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer your question. Thank you. As you can see, I'm done with the skirt. You can see how beautiful it looks. This is the belt, and the pockets are on the two sides. You see it? You see the pockets? You see how it looks? And then this is where I joined the belt to the band. You see how it is? And then we have the zip at the back. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do not forget to give me a thumbs up and also subscribe on the channel if you are here.